بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So in the last class we started learning about fragments. So first of all, what is fragment? Just a revision. We talked about it during the last time. So fragment, for this class, how we are going to define fragment is, so fragment is more than a word but less than a sentence. So it is like a part of a sentence, but it is not just one word, it is more than one word, could be two or maybe more. For example, this is a complete sentence. Messenger of Allah spoke the truth, and I can remove part of it, and then I will call it a fragment. And it is more than a word. You see, it is made of three words, Messenger of Allah. So this is a fragment. Simple as that. And another example, this book is written by a good Muslim. So I can separate two parts of it. Each part is made up of more than one word. And I can call both of them as fragment. So there are two fragments. So this is a fragment. Basically for this class, this is how we're gonna define a fragment. Then I said the first fragment that we are going to learn about is Modaf, Modafun ilay, Modaf, Modaf ilay. And this is the name of the fragment. Now, it doesn't mean something, but at this time, we are not going into the meaning of this fragment, the name of this fragment. We will just memorize it. So please just memorize the name, Modaf, Modaf ilay. As we progress on the verb side, inshallah, one day you will know what Modaf means and what is the meaning of Modaf ilay. But for now, just memorize the name. Okay, so after that, in the last class, I showed you these fragments. So they are like 5 fragments here. Messenger of Allah, house of Allah, Imam of the Masjid, house of the Muslims, saying of the Messenger. You see, there are basically 2 ism. One is before the word of, and the other ism is after the word of. So of is basically separating 2 isms. And those 2 isms have a belonging relationship with each other. So I'm separating one of these 5 fragments, and I'm going to label that fragment. The first ism before the word of is called Modaf. And the ism after the word of is called Modaf ilay. This is what it is, simply. Modaf, Modaf ilay. The first word before of, the first ism is called Modaf, and the ism after the word of is called Modaf ilay. So this is how we will define Modaf, Modaf ilay. So Modaf, Modaf ilay is a combination of 2 nouns which usually have a belonging relationship with each other. Because messenger is of Allah and house also belongs to Allah. So there's a belonging relationship between the 2 words, 2 nouns. Of is not a noun. Okay, so it's a relationship of 2 nouns, combination of 2 nouns, which usually or normally have a belonging relationship. So this is where we stopped in the last class. So what we're gonna do next now? So what I've done is, you see from the previous slide, I'm going to use the first one, like Messenger of Allah. I just take it over, roll it over into the next slide, Messenger of Allah. Now our task is to translate it into Arabic, because we are learning Arabic. We already know this is Modaf, Modaf ilay. Messenger of Allah is a Modaf, Modaf ilay. Messenger is Modaf. Allah, the Ismul Jalala, is Modaf ilay. Now we need to translate it into Arabic. So let's do this. The Arabic for messenger is Rasulun. Okay? And the Arabic of Allah is obviously Allah. It's a name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now we need to translate this into Arabic. We already know now what is the Arabic of messenger and what is the Arabic of the word Allah. So because Arabic starts from right to left, so this is how I'm gonna write the two words, Rasul and Allah. And you see, I left some gap between the two. Because what I can do is put the word for off in the middle. So Rasul means messenger. So messenger of Allah. So in the gap here, this gap here, I just have to find the word in Arabic for off and put it in there, and it would mean messenger of Allah, right? Simple as that. But there is a problem. The problem is Arabs don't have any word for off. In Arabic language, there is no word which means off. So there is a problem now. How we translate this fragment, messenger of Allah. We don't have a word for off. But we don't have to resolve this problem. Arabs have already done that. They have already resolved this problem. So what they do is, what Arabs do, they make some changes to the two words. The word Rasul, which is Modaf, and Allah, which could be Modaf ilayhi. They make some changes to them. Okay? And then they imply that the word of is between them. So they make some changes to these words. So what those changes are, to the first word, I'm just writing them again. No change so far. The first word, I will make it light. Okay, so they would make it light, and if there is al with it, they will remove it. So two changes. They will make it light and confirm there is no al with it. If there is al, they will remove it. Okay, so two changes. Can somebody help me make those changes now? I need to make Rasul light. How I will make it light? Fatima.
You remove one of the Tanween to make it Rasul.
So the light version of Rasulun is Rasulu. You will agree with me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And there is no al with it anyways, so we don't need to remove it. It wasn't there anyways, right? It wasn't there in the beginning word. So now this Rasulu is ready. We need to make a change to the Lafzul Jalala, the word Allah. And the change is that we are going to make it jar. Anusha, make it jar.
Make it jar. Rasul Allah. Huh?
Allahu
Allah.
is the normal word. Change its status to jar.
Allahi.
Allahi. So
Sorry.
Allah will be nasab.
Nasab. I got it confused with the jar.
Allahi will be jar. So far we have changed the first word, made it light, and confirmed that it doesn't have al with it. If it had al with it, we would have removed it. And we made one change to the second ism, and we made it jar. So after these changes, these words are ready to be put back together. So I will put them back together. Okay. Now you see the first word is light. There is no al with it. First word is light. There is no al with it. And the second word is in jar status. When these three conditions exist, it is implied there is an invisible off between the two isms. So now this means messenger of Allah. So there is an invisible off between
Rasulullah.
And how we know that? We know that because the first ism is light, there is no al with it. And the second ism is in jar status. And when this happens, when these three conditions are met, then there is an off between the two ism. So now how we will translate it? Now it means messenger of Allah. And now, after it means messenger of Allah, now we will call the first ism Modaf and the second ism Modaf ilay. So Modaf is always light. It cannot have al with it. It cannot start with al. And the Modaf ilay is always in jar status. And when this happens, there is an invisible of between the two. And now it will mean messenger of Allah. So this is Modaf ilay in Arabic. Two isms next to each other. The first ism is light. It doesn't have al with it. And the second ism is in jar status. And when this happens, there is an invisible of between the two. And this is called Modaf ilay. Simple is that. All right. So we are going to do this exercise again with some new words, inshallah. So the next phrase is house of Allah. House of Allah. House in Arabic, the word is baytun. And Allah is obviously Allah. So we're going to do the same exercise. No change. So I'm placing two words next to each other, right? And filling the gap, we cannot fill the gap because there is no word available to us from Arabic language, which means of. So I put the words again, right? Wrote those two words again. And now I need to make those words ready for making them Modaf ilay. I need to make changes in them. So the first one becomes Modaf and the second one could become Modaf ilay. At this time, they are not ready. Okay, they are not ready. I cannot call this word Modaf and I cannot call this word Modaf ilay. They don't meet the conditions, right? So I have to make them ready to be called Modaf and Modaf ilay. So Daniel, help me with the first one.
You take it out on the second dhamma and make it baytu.
Baytu. So now it is ready. Okay. Zainab, how I will make Allahu ready for Modaf ilay?
You would change it to jar status and add.
So what will be
Yeah,
the
you
word?
change it to jar status, right?
Okay. What will be the word then, Zainab?
Allahi,
Allahi.
Baytullahi.
Very good. So now these two words are ready. The first one is light. There is no al with it. And the second one is in jar status. I can put them back together next to each other. And Abir is going to translate it now. Abir.
House of Allah.
So why we are putting the word of in the middle? Why? How we know there is an invisible of between the two?
Because it's light and there's no Arabic word for off, so now it's mudaf ilay, so we know there's an off in the middle.
Yeah. So we know the first word is light and there is no al with it. And the second ism is in jar status. So three conditions are met. Two conditions for Modaf, one condition for Modaf ilay. And now we know there is a word of in the middle. Good. So Baytullahi means house of Allah. And now Bayt is Modaf because it meets the two conditions. It is light, doesn't have al, and Allahi is in jar status, therefore it is in Modaf. So Baytullahi is Modaf ilay. Good. All right, so we are going to do, what time we have? All right, we're gonna do maybe a couple of more examples and then we go to the breakout room, inshallah. So everybody gets a chance. Now, the next fragment is Imam of the Masjid. Okay, Imam, the word for Imam is Imamun. Okay. And the Masjid is Al-Masjidu. Al means the. Al means the. Otherwise, it will be masjidu without al. Al-masjidu. So it is al plus masjidun is equal to al-masjidu. Al will remove the tanween and replace it with the single haraka. Al doesn't like tanween. Okay, now we have the words. And I can put them next to each other. And we know there is no word for off that we can put in the middle. So I wrote those words again, and now we need to make the necessary changes to make them ready for mudaf, mudaf ilay. Okay. Let's, Ayan,
Yes.
Imam, what 2 changes you will make to it?
I would remove the noon sound at the end, the tanween, and make it imamu. Make it light, and then
Confirm that.
I confirm that it does not have al at the beginning.
So what will be the word?
Imamu.
Imamu. Very good. Thank you. Imamu. So now this word is ready to be used as mudaf. Now we need to change the second word. Saad, change the second one.
Okay. Masjidu, right? It needs to be jar, so it will be masjidi. Al masjidi.
Al-masjidi. Very good. So now both of the words are ready. Both of the words are ready. And we put them back together. Imamul masjidi. This fatha should not be here. This is a typo. Imamul masjidi. Imamul masjidi. So what it means now? Hiba, can you tell what it means? Hiba?
It means the imam of the masjid.
How do you know that there is an off in the middle?
Because the imam is light and it doesn't have al at the beginning, and the al masjidu is jar.
Is jar. So the 3
And it's
conditions are
mudaf,
met.
mudaf
Huh?
ilayh.
Yeah. So the first word meets the 2 conditions, and the second ism meets its single condition. And now it means imam of the masjid. And we will call the first one mudaf and the second one mudaf ilayh. So this is imamul masjidi is mudaf, mudaf ilayh. And as I said, this is a typo. There should not be a haraka here on this alif here, on this hamza. All right. We do one more and then we go to the breakout room. Okay, inshallah. I'm not going to do the same pattern now because now we know. So we're going to make it a little simple. House of the Muslims. Okay, house of the Muslim. That is the fragment. This is the fragment that we are going to translate and make it a proper mudaf, mudaf ilayh in Arabic language. Okay. House, the word for house is baytun. And the Muslims is al-muslimuna. I have written both of them in rafa status because rafa status is the default status. Okay. So I'm not going to make those arrows and everything else. I'm going to keep things simple now. I want to say house of the Muslims. So house is the word before the word of, and the Muslims is after the word of. So I want to make baytun mudaf and al-muslimuna mudaf ilayh. How I will make them ready. All right. So let's pick someone who hasn't done this before. Umar.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Make baytun ready for mudaf.
You have to make it light, so it has to turn into baitu.
And make sure there is no al with it. Yeah, there is no al
Yes.
anyway, so we don't need to worry about that. All right. So what will be the word, Umar?
Baitu.
Baitu. Baitu. All right. So you got the first word ready for me. Okay. How about Hafsa? Hafsa Ashar. Hafsa, can you help me making the second word ready to be used as mudaf ilay? Yes or no?
Yes.
Do you know how to do it?
You change it into jar status.
So al-Muslimuna is in what status right now?
Rafa.
Make it jar.
Muslimina.
Muslimina, very good. So it will be Baytul Muslimina. So what does it mean, Hafsa?
House of the Muslims.
House of the Muslims. So how many conditions for mudaf that it has to meet?
It has to, for Modaf, there has to be no al and it has to be light.
And how many conditions for mudaf ilay?
It has to be just
Only one condition, right? Yeah. So there are total of 3 conditions. 2 conditions for mudaf. The first ism and 1 condition for mudaf ilay. And if once these 3 conditions are met, we call this mudaf ilay, and we can use the word of between the 2. Good. So now I will stop. And inshallah, now we go to the breakout room. There are more examples like this that we can do now.